So Dr. Joe was appointed as Chief Scientific Officer and Executive Vice President of Product Development in year 2006. So with more than 35 years of experience in pharmaceutical and dietary supplement industry, Dr. Joe has comprehensive knowledge in both sectors. So I believe that you'll be excited to hear his expert insight on Ageloc technology in today's sessions. So once again, please help me to invite Dr. Joe. So thank you, Dr. Joe. We are very pleased to have you join us today. And
My
up
pleasure.
next,
Yep, it's great.
so we can't wait to hear from you later on. Please do share a lot of Ageloc story with us. Okay. And up next, we have Juinn, our sales leaders from Singapore. So Juinn is here with us today to share his business journey with Nu Skin and how Ageloc has transformed his life and grow his business. So apart from that, we will be also hearing from Juinn to share why he is so dedicated to empowering and mentoring more leaders to be successful in Nu Skin. So Juinn, do you have a few words to say to the audience?
Yes.
Juinn?
First, thank you, Nu Skin, for giving me this honor and privilege to share with all of you. I look forward to telling you some of our stories and also hearing
Thank
from
you,
Joe, as
Juinn.
always. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Juinn. So leaders, do you know over the past 16 years, since the first Ageloc product was introduced, Ageloc has celebrated the 10 billion brand in global cumulative sales in 2020. And this is really an amazing achievement. And this would not be possible without all the scientists' efforts as well as our sales leaders' advocacy for this Ageloc brand. So throughout these years, we have more than millions of loyal Ageloc users who love our products and our comprehensive portfolio under the Ageloc brand. So we all know that the power of Ageloc technology. However, did you ever wonder how did the idea of creating this technology come about and becoming the brand we know and love by many? And today, we are going to ask these questions to Dr. Joe because he is the best person to tell us more on this. So, Dr. Joe, could you please share us how did the idea of creating this Ageloc technology come about?
Yeah, thanks, Fionn. It's always great to be on such calls and sort of really help everybody to understand what Ageloc is all about. I'm assuming my voice is okay, right? It's coming through and everybody's hearing it. And hopefully I won't speak too fast because there's some translation happening at the same time as well. So as I was saying, Ageloc fundamentally, when you look at it, and you don't even have to be a scientist and all that, the main objective of Ageloc is to help everybody to live younger and better longer. And that's an important phrase because I didn't say to help you live longer, but it's actually help you to live younger and better longer. Which that means is the fact that what Ageloc is all about is to improve and to preserve at the very minimum your quality of life. Okay, so and I think everybody on this call could realize that as well, because what's the point of living over 100 years old and you don't live it in a good way? You either be sitting in a wheelchair, you can't get out of bed, you can't do all the things that you want to do, and that's really not a good quality of life. So, and therefore Ageloc is all about that. At the end of the day, all the science that we do, all the scientific discoveries that we have and all that, they're all pointing towards that particular objective. And really on a personal level, you can say, well, how did it all begin? What is the origin of Ageloc? And frankly, the origin, I can take it back to my parents because both my parents have passed away now. But when they were alive, whenever I visited with them and chat with them and so on, my two parents gave me a lot of. It sort of began to make me ask a lot of questions about aging, and the reason is because my mother, she passed away at about age of 90, But she passed away in a very good way, the way I look at it, because all she did was to close her eyes and never woke up, you know. And up to that point, her quality of life was really good. I mean, she just goes around. I mean, she does everything on her own. She doesn't need any help from anybody to do the things that she wanted to do. And for intents and purposes, I always get a chuckle out of this, and that is that she still thinks or she still thought when she was alive that she treats me like a 9-year-old, and that shows me her mind was still very active and she was alive and she was really be able to think of all sorts of things and doesn't really lose her memory. Sure, she had a good death, ultimately. That's what I'm saying, at the age of 90. However, by contrast, when I look at my dad, and he also passed away roughly around 80, 85, passed away before my mom, and but he never had a good quality of life. He was in a wheelchair. In fact, it was came to a point where he couldn't even shave himself. And if you're a man and sort of listening on this call, you would appreciate. I mean, one of the things that we do as guys is that we like to shave, right? And we would like to shave our face with our own hands. So for a man who is not able to do shaving on his own, is there's a lot of loss of self-respect, and that's what my dad had become. A sort of his quality of life was really not very good. All right, and it continued for 5 to 6 years, and before he actually died. So I have these two parents of mine, and I'm asked, and it came to a question that I asked myself. I said, what? Because genetically, we are all the same. Okay. We share the same genes. There are about 25,000 of them. And we all have the same genes in our body. Collectively, we call it a human genome. So why is it my mom, with the same human genome, okay, has a great quality of life, and my dad never did have a good quality of life with the same human genome? And that's what led us, the team and everybody else in Pharmanex. Obviously, this was not a one-man show, if you will. It's a collection of all the scientists that we have, around 70, 75 scientists in Nu Skin. We started to ask that question. You see, what could explain that? At that point in time, and this is like Fionn already alluded to it, about 16 years ago, many of us, including Nu Skin, we sort of really, frankly, when we look at our products and how we develop them by just covering up the symptoms or the signs of aging. All right. We in a way, the English language has used the word cosmetic to define something superficial. It's a cosmetic cover up, so to speak. And because we don't know any better. Then, however, with the advent of Ageloc, and this was the discovery that we have, together with some other professors at University of Wisconsin, a company actually that they founded called LifeGen, which we subsequently bought. They discovered there are certain genes in the body that are really responsible for aging inside the body, including the skin as well. All right. They're the ones that we call them youth gene clusters. These groups of genes seem to be able to influence how a particular organ or tissue ages. Okay. The lung has a special set of clusters of genes. The heart has another group of genes, and so some of the genes overlap, but they do show differences. So, and these professors told us at that time, only 16 years ago, that look, rather than just looking at symptoms and signs of aging, we really believe that these genes are the source of aging in the body. It's the beginning of the aging process. That was a very insightful observation, because now we can go all the way back upstream to the first step of the aging process. So think about it, right? You don't have to be a scientist to really see how impactful this discovery is, because if you can go further up like a waterfall, if you can stop the waterfall at the top of the water won't flow down. You try stopping the water at the bottom of the waterfall, it's way more difficult and it's way less effective, right? That's a good analogy to think about Ageloc. So we are going back up in the aging process, all the way to the origin actually, and be able to influence that. So this is a proprietary discovery. It's a very important discovery by the professors, because most of our competitors are still wondering where are the genes that they're looking at. They don't really know. Whereas our proprietary knowledge and the asset, the intellectual property that we actually acquired from LifeGen allows us to identify the specific genes responsible for aging in a particular tissue. So we have used that and developed a lot of products. Over the last 16 years, we use Ageloc technology to sort of really discover first vitality, R squared, and then ultimately we brought out Y-span, about 6 years ago or something. And we can talk about Y-span a little bit more, but that's really, in a way, our most advanced anti-aging supplement that we have ever developed, right? So this diagram that Fionn put up on source of aging, that's what I have been talking about. You go to the sources, you have a much better chance of getting a much better product with Ageloc technology. Other companies are still doing it on the old way, It's almost like using a landline phone versus a mobile phone. Who uses a land phone anymore? In fact, you walk around Singapore or any other big cities around Southeast Asia, I don't think you find any more telephone kiosks anymore. Even in London, those red boxes, I think they've all disappeared. They don't have any phones anymore. Everybody has a mobile phone. And I think that's what we have done with Ageloc, is essentially disrupt the aging industry and be able to really come out with a breakthrough that is unique and really is going to change how we look at aging going forward and how we can influence it with products, both in terms of skincare products and also the nutritional supplements that we develop through Ageloc technology. So the next question is, okay, what is Ageloc technology? And I think just briefly, it's about this technology uses what we call a biochip, and we can coat these kind of biochips. There might be a slide coming up that essentially we can use that biochip to screen and identify these kinds of, that's the biochip, you can see that, and on the right, that's a picture of DNA or genes that we can light up and be able to look at in terms of how bright they are or how dark they are, how active that gene is in every tissue in the body. So that's the technology for all intents and purposes that we use in Ageloc technology that we use to develop Ageloc products. So it's pretty exciting. And maybe you have a next slide. Maybe we can talk about, I don't know, how we do. Yeah, okay. So with that technology, we sort of can actually come up with these kind of pictures, or what we call genetic fingerprints, right? So the one that on the left that says young, that's about 300 genes or so, and each color shows the activity of a particular gene, all right? So, and that's a profile. It's like a fingerprint. I mean, police people all around the world, you cannot really catch a criminal without his fingerprint, right? Much easier. So this is our genetic fingerprint. We want a young one that looks like the left, and then the old one, which I don't think we can go backwards, but anyway, the old one is the opposite. All the colors change. The green becomes red, the red becomes green, and so it's totally different from what a healthy piece of tissue looks like. So we use this, and we have this fingerprint now. So what we use and do is we we have lots of ingredients, right? These are natural product ingredients, traditional Chinese herbs, Ayurvedic type of herbs, European herbs, all kinds of natural products. So we extract or make an extract out of these kinds of natural products, and we put it onto the tissue, an old piece of tissue, and see whether that particular ingredient or several ingredients can change the pattern, the genetic pattern or profile back to the one that we get from the young tissue. All right. If you click it, maybe we can, oh, okay, you already click it. That ingredient for, I've just put here examples of 5 of them. And ingredient 4 is the one that you can see it almost duplicated the genetic profile of a young tissue. So simply put, that's how we do and how we use Ageloc technology. Very powerful, but if you don't have the fingerprint, you can't really do it, right? So, and many of our competitors, if not most of them, they don't have this fingerprint. So they can use the technology, or they can use this biochip. They can actually buy it. We didn't invent a biochip, but what are they looking at? Because they don't have the fingerprint to compare to. So that's our secret sauce, if you will, in Ageloc, and it has served us very well. You know, Fiona has already mentioned to you that by 2020, cumulatively, we have already sold more than $10 billion US worth of Ageloc products. It has since exceeded that. Now it's 2024 and still continues to grow and continues to help us develop, new Ageloc products. So, yeah, it's about targeting the genes and how we can influence it. It's a technology that we have, and only Nu Skin has it.
Very impressive, Dr. Joe. I still
Yeah.
remember that when I joined Nu Skin as Pharmanex product trainer, Ageloc is like, my first chapter, my first chapter to learn in Nu Skin, that I have to actually learn what is gene, what is gene expressions, what is the technology of our Ageloc, so that I can actually communicate and convey this great, wonderful technology to our sales leaders. So it was very, very impressive. That was not the things that I actually learned in my university course. So thank you so much, Dr. Joe. It's really
No,
very
Dion, it's great. Yeah. And I'm hoping that people, oh my goodness, we are over 1,000 people listening and looking at this, participating here. So that's great. Welcome, everybody. And hopefully this, my explanation, hopefully gives, some insight and some understanding of Ageloc, because, it continues to be an incredible platform, for us and for you to use to drive your business and opportunity. Yeah.
right. So, leaders, the next question that I'm going to ask Dr. Joe, I think is very important for you, because just now Dr. Joe shared a lot of background of Ageloc story with us. So get ready with your notebook and pen and listen attentively, that I'm going to ask Dr. Joe these questions. Because Dr. Joe, we are not scientists. So I believe our leaders out there would like to actually listen from you. How could you just, explain what is Ageloc about in the most simplest form, simplify it so that they can duplicate it when they actually talk to their customers?
Yeah. There's one thing, right? I think you're asking me, if you get into a lift in Southeast Asia, I guess in the US we call it the elevator, and the door closes and there's somebody standing next to you and say, "Oh, what's this Ageloc I hear about in Nu Skin," and so on and so forth. What was it all about? I mean, my answer to them is, well, this is really, at the end of the day, Nu Skin has developed products that can help you live longer, better. Okay.
Wonderful.
Yeah, that's really, less than 10 seconds you would have described. And how they do it is through Ageloc, and then the door opens and you can say, "Are you interested?" We can provide you. And that's the difference with Nu Skin, is that it's just not all talk, I think you can come and listen, and we are a science company, and we have a lot of scientific evidence to prove that Ageloc works. You see, so
Yeah,
and that's the difference, I guess, in new skin. How you would describe new skin in that sense, right? Because here's the thing. I mean, it's also new skin is also a business opportunity, if you will. And the reason why we have all these products and why we want to make sure that they give meaningful benefits is that new skin wants to give you a sustainable business opportunity and not a flash in the pan. It's not something that you can go out and just do it one time and you can never repeat it. You know, it is supposed to be something that you can use. You can use new skin to grow your business and to be successful and so on. And then it's recurring. You know, it doesn't disappear, and that's why we want to make sure that our products. I mean, at the end of the day, if the products don't work, there is no business opportunity. Fundamentally, right? And also the products also is to make sure that even if somebody is not interested, frankly, to join you or whatever as a business opportunity, that person will become a customer. Our products will never ever embarrass you. And that's another important, another objective for us in New Skin is that personally, I want to make sure the products that come out at the end of the day when I see it, each and every one of you, is to make sure that I can look you straight in the eye and not be able to say, well, yeah, there's all talk, and no action, so to speak. This is real benefits for real people.
Yeah, that's why we always see Dr. Joe is so confident when Dr. Joe talk about the Ageloc technology and Ageloc products to us. So thank you, Dr. Joe, for your great sharing. So I'm going to turn to Juinn for him to share about the business opportunity of Ageloc. So Dr. Joe, you may take a rest first. I'll come back to you later on for the questions.
Okay. I'll be here.
So leaders, as Dr. Josh shared, right, we basically uncover the opportunity to develop innovative products that actually target the source of the aging, not just the signs and symptoms. So I think this is very important for us to know. And this is indeed a revolution and game changer, right? And like Dr. Joe mentioned, not many companies can achieve this type of standards. So we are the company not just creating a new innovative product with proven results like Dr. Joe shared with us, but at the same time, we also help to present a great opportunity for business as well. So I think as sales leaders, right, you are a part of the new skin, and this product and technology are really, really exclusive for you to use. And with amazing technology, it comes to the great business opportunities. So thanks, Juinn, for taking your time to join us for today. So as many of you may know, right, Juinn was a former Singapore government scholar, and he previously served as a deputy director in Ministry of Health, Ministry of Trade and Industry. So his journey with New Skin began like many of us when he was first introduced to the Ageloc products and of course our other New Skin products and the business opportunity that New Skin offer. So Juinn, we want to actually get some insights from you as one of the successful leader, right? Why you actually decide to take the leap of faith to join New Skin?
Thank you. Firstly, I want to applaud New Skin for having this seminar about rediscovering Ageloc. I think it's so important. Maybe some of the new people have forgotten about Ageloc or maybe a little bit in the background because Ageloc is very, very powerful. So my own story goes like this. I was invited at that time by an American guy called Bob Howe, my direct sponsor. He was during our time in finance, one of the biggest fund managers for Southeast Asia. So obviously when he invited my wife and I to attend a presentation on New Skin, I didn't know that it was a multi-level marketing company. I only know it's got some form of direct selling and it's got very good product. But I'm always open to opportunities, so I attended a 1-hour presentation. And very shortly, even before the presentation ended, my wife and I could already make a few key conclusions about Nu Skin. Number one, that Nu Skin was clearly the leading company in the anti-aging space and in the MLM space, because I look at the founder's vision, I look at their energy, and of course, I saw the stellar scientific team headed by the likes of Dr. Chang. And also, very importantly, we were already doing so well in South Korea and in Japan. Now, these two markets, the women and the men know more about skincare, more about wellness than anywhere else in the world. So if you can succeed so well in those markets without advertising, without multiple retail outlets, without endorsement from film stars or sports stars, you must be doing something very right. So point number one, we already clearly the leading company in the anti-aging space. Point number two, I saw that Nu Skin was able to attract a lot of professionals, a lot of entrepreneurs, and even men to do this business. So clearly, this was not just some small business, but a business that is big enough. And the fact that professionals and entrepreneurs, doctors, PhD holders could come in to embrace the business and eventually do it full time told me everything I needed to know about the integrity, the credibility of the company, how the products work, and most importantly, the financial rewards must be more than sufficient for them to eventually do it full time after starting part time. And third and lastly, I saw there was no downside to doing this business, only upside. Now, I think all of us want to do something with no downside, only upside. What do I mean? Firstly, unlike a traditional business, even a small one, you have to put in a lot of capital. You have to shoulder overheads like manpower, like inventory, like rentals. There was none of it. And it's up to you how hard you want to work to enroll other people, and your business can grow not just in Singapore, but across the region and the world. So to me, it was very clear. This was clearly for me and my wife a once in a lifetime opportunity that we did not expect. The last thing we expected to be doing was to do something involving skincare, supplements, and multi-level marketing. But there we are. We were open to opportunities, and we were lucky to be shown Nu Skin.
Thank you, Juinn. Very inspirational. I like what you shared because, like you mentioned, Nu Skin is really the leading company, and in fact, right, Nu Skin actually offer limitless opportunity to all our leaders out there with the Ageloc technology as well. So I believe our leaders here, after listening to you, right, they can actually feel to flashback why they actually joined Nu Skin at the very beginning and why they still continue with this business. So, Juinn, I have my next question to you. So, when Ageloc was first introduced back in year 2008, right? What potential did you actually see in this cutting-edge technology? Why did it stand out to you? Could you please share more with us?
Okay, so when I first heard about Ageloc, my first reaction was, wow, you mean we could actually do this? Because most of us assume that we are hostage to our genes. We are going to live the way our parents live and our grandparents live, and we cannot change our fate, okay? We cannot change our fate. But what Ageloc presented was we could, as Dr. Chang said, not just treat the symptoms of aging, but tackle the actual sources of aging. I really like that, okay? To me, today, even then, when you Google gene expression, epigenetics, everything comes up that this is truly the forefront of anti-aging. Most of the billionaires in the world and multi-billionaires are looking for such a solution for themselves or to do a business. And yet, this opportunity is open to ordinary people like us. So first, I really like the concept of anti-aging, but in a way that tackles the sources of aging, not just the symptoms. And once we actually saw the testimonials of how this works, it's not what we say, but what we do. And that actually works. Like what Dr. Chang was saying, you don't just come out with a concept and then nothing works, just like saying today, if you said Ferrari or you said Rolex or you said Chanel, you immediately identify with the brand, whether or not you're actually using it. It's the best in its class. So hopefully, with all our hard work, when in the future we keep saying Ageloc, even to someone who has not yet used the thing, they will say, "Oh yes, I hear it's good for really turning back the clock." So I hope that we can become that kind of brand and that company.
Yes, thank you, Juinn. I guess your sharing is to show a proof that Ageloc technology really give us a competitive edge as compared to
Yes.
the others from the field. And this Ageloc technology really put us as the leaders in the anti-aging field. So how do you actually leverage the power of Ageloc to build your business and your organization?
Okay. So for me, I think there are a few key points. Number one, the fact that the Ageloc products actually work is really helps to build trust, loyalty to the brand, and confidence in our business builders. Like I say, you can only market a concept for so long, but if the products don't work, people will tire of it and say it's bullshit, right? So firstly, when we see that the products actually work, it becomes very powerful for us to then talk about the business. Secondly, all business today, MLM or otherwise, is about marketing a very powerful brand and what that brand stands for. Now, in the case of Ageloc, I really like the brand because often when we market Nu Skin as multi-level marketing, some people may not react the way we want them to react. Okay? They have certain biases and prejudices. But if you were to market the Ageloc brand right at the beginning as one which tackles the sources of aging, and not just the symptoms, and you, the person marketing it, is a living testimonial of that concept and that brand, then people will say, "Oh, really? For your age, you really look good. So tell me more." Like what Dr. Joe Chang was about, the elevator pitch, live longer, better. And finally, our sixth generation 5% comp plan is a very powerful tool for us to scale the business. And again, today in all business is about scaling. So I want to just share a little story. I just came back from a cruise with my wife last night. Yesterday afternoon, we just came back, and I slept like a baby until this morning, 7:30. And during the cruise, I noticed a number of things. The people who could afford to go on the cruise, they may have the money, they may have the time, but they don't necessarily have the youth and health. I saw so many people walking not so well on motorized wheelchair. And in fact, I was the only one running on the ship's deck. And I happened to run into a person I knew, and he came up to me, a Singaporean, and he said, "Hey, what have you been doing? I haven't seen you for years. My wife wants to know the secret for you and your wife. Then he found out that I'm actually younger than him. And he said, "My wife is giving me a hard time. You better tell me more about all these Ageloc supplements and your lifestyle." So it actually worked. And in fact, when we were visiting some of the museums in Europe, they have a senior discount for 65 and above. Both my wife and I are 65 this year. When we say 2 tickets senior, please, they say, show me your passport photos. I have to show them passport. Normally people just go through, right? They look at it again and say, okay, you can go.
Interesting.
So you have to be a living testimonial of the product to sell the product, and better still to sell the brand and the business.
Right. Thanks, Joanne. I like your sharing. Okay. So I guess in Nu Skin, right, we not just Nu Skin staff. I think our leaders, Dr. Joes, we are all the walking testimonials as we take our products. We use our devices, skincare devices, everything. So we really like the working testimonials. We don't actually need to tell people what is our age, but they guess themselves Yeah. So I also remember that, my niece also told me, hey, aunts, I feel that you still look like in your 20s. Okay. So, but I cannot reveal my age to you. Okay. So I really feel very happy when I actually heard this message from my niece. Okay. So thank you for sharing, Juinn. So we have so many amazing Ageloc products in our portfolio. So I'm sure that our leaders out there, okay, our audience for today want to actually know your secret, in using which product. What is your favorite products and why? So shall we have Juinn to share first with us?
Okay, so there are many favorite products. I just want to mention two. So maybe I just give you a bit of a backstory. I've been playing sports from my school days, and finally, about maybe slightly over 10 years ago, my knee started to have problems, all the running and playing soccer and all kinds of things. So I had to go for an operation on my meniscus. Both my knees were operated upon, and they were about maybe 18 months apart, the two operations. When my left knee was operated on, uh, my orthopedic surgeon basically told me you can forget about playing soccer ever again. And in fact, the recovery process was quite painful and not so efficient, even though I popped a lot more of the new skin supplements. Then before my right knee had to be operated on, some 18 months later, 6 months before that, I was very fortunate to be chosen to be the guinea pig for Y-span. Okay, so I took Y-span, and then 6 months later, I still went for my knee operation. Now, this time, again, the orthopedic surgeon told me, the same one, said you can pretty much forget about soccer. I know you've been trying to get back, but forget about it. You're not young anymore, blah, 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 and so on and so forth. But I was determined to go back because I love playing soccer, right? For most of us, we like to play sports. So this time I went back and did the same rehabilitation process, and lo and behold, things were different this time. I started not to feel so much pain. I had a lot more flexibility, and I can report now I've been happily playing soccer ever since then for the last 10 years or more, 3 times weekly. I'm already 65. So to me, that's amazing. And I understand from one of the new skin scientists that I spoke to, and maybe Dr. Chang can explain a little bit further. It's got something to do with the fact that maybe I've gone back to an earlier age where my tissue repair was better. And we all know when we are younger, when we have an injury, we have a cut, repair is very fast. When you get older, things take a bit longer or never. The second product I want to talk about is R Square. And I've always been keen on running and all that. And I found that after taking R Square, I measure all my timings for my runs and so on and so forth, and my heart rate. I could report that my heart rate, my resting pulse today is in my low 40s. Okay, which again, for my age, I think is remarkable. So I'm very thankful to Nu Skin, to Dr. Chang and his team for coming out with these products, which really allow us to live longer, live better.
Thanks, Juinn. How about you, Dr. Joe? What is your favorite product? Is it also the Y-span R square?
Yes. Well, listening to Juinn, it's interesting, right? Because I did hinted at the very beginning also this Y-span product, and I don't know whether Y-span is the name for all the Southeast Asian markets, or you use another one, U-span in a particular market. They're all the same. It's just for legal reasons that the name we have to change. But Y-span, I'll stick with that name. It's the most advanced anti-aging, and Juinn is absolutely right when the scientists mentioned to him that really the body has a very strong capacity, or I call it resiliency, to bounce back from damage. Okay. The problem is that what we find through Ageloc discoveries and so on is that we tend to abuse our body as we age. All right. We either don't eat well, we don't exercise well, we don't sleep well, all the things that we don't worry about when we were young, when we were a 20-year-old or below 25, because at that point in time, frankly, we probably all think that we're going to live forever. All right, nothing can hurt us. So as we get older, when you start hitting 40, 45, and so on and so forth, that's when all these things that we haven't done right started to come home to roost, I call it. That's when the results of that bad lifestyle or negative lifestyle comes back, and because it has affected the genes. I told you about these genes. For intents and purposes, our lifestyle has a very strong influence on whether our genes are clean or whether they become dirty with age. And once they become dirty, it's like your car, right? There's a reason why you have to change oil every 5,000 or maybe now 10,000 miles. You got to change the oil in the engine, or else eventually it will break down if you don't do it. The body is the same way, and essentially what Ageloc does is help you change the oil in your body, so that what in Juinn's case, it's about repairing his knees, and the body help him to recover and be able to repair much quicker than some of the doctors have been telling him. Now, this Weissband, his favorite product, remember, it's not just about the knees. Other people may well be more interested in healing other organs in the body, like the heart and stuff like that. It will have the same kind of benefits, all right? Because it's a very comprehensive type of product that we have developed in Weissband, and it'll be good. My second product Juinn has also mentioned it, R Square, right? That's another one. I can go through another hour of webinar to tell you about R Square, but it's another product that came up from Ageloc, and really very in a short description, it cleans the body of all the trash, all the byproducts that happen from metabolism, and get them out of the body. And that's why R Square and Weissband, that's a great combination to take at the same time. And I mean, TRME that we just launched is another Ageloc development, and that's about looking at fat tissue. Fat tissue is pretty bad. You know, if you have too much of it, you're not going to stay healthy for long. And over time, especially when you get older, that fat, the amount of fat that we have will actually directly lead to you developing all kinds of diseases and so on. So we have a nutritional supplement system called TRME that can really help you to maintain a healthy weight. So those are some of our favorite products. Remember though, right? And these are the things that hopefully you can learn enough. And coming back to the business opportunity, I mean, there's another piece of evidence that we forget. We mentioned Ageloc has produced more than $10 billion worth of revenue. And the thing is, this multi-level, and frankly, some people are sort of like, I don't want to hear about that, it's negative and all that. But remember, you are going to get more than 40% of that 10 billion. That's the power of this opportunity, okay? That 10 billion is not all kept in a company. 40% immediately goes out to all our leaders, the brand representatives, everybody. So you can imagine that if you do your part, and that is be able to tell this incredible story using Ageloc and so on, you'll be rewarded on the other side too. So I think Juinn says it best. You know, it's something that where can you find something where there's little upfront risk? I mean, there is risk, and the risk is associated with how hard are you willing to work to get it going.
Thanks, Dr. Joe.
Yeah.
So if you ask me, I would just say, you know, sum up what Juinn and you shared. Don't think too much. Just use the product, go out and share, right? So, leaders, I think Nu Skin is not just stopping in our tracks in creating innovative products. And I know that impactful products are in the pipeline. So please keep a lookout, Dr. Joe. I believe there will be many Ageloc products coming up to us. Okay, so I cannot wait for that. So on behalf the scientific advisory board and R&D team, right, Dr. Joe? Can you actually what can you say about Nu Skin commitment in product development, and could you share the future of Ageloc with us?
Yeah. When you ask about the commitment of Nu Skin, right, it sort of triggers a memory that I have. If some of you may not know this personal history behind me, I came into Nu Skin back in 1998. And the reason why I got into Nu Skin was because the company that I co-founded called Pharmanex was acquired by Nu Skin. All right. And typically what happens is after an acquisition, founders don't stay around for a long time. All right. So I've been with Nu Skin for over 20 years. And the reason is really comes down to this, what I call the commitment. And that is the reason why we sold to Nu Skin or got acquired by Nu Skin was the fact that they gave us a very strong commitment that they are going to support our scientific R&D. All right. I believe that we cannot innovate and we could not have developed Ageloc if Nu Skin commitment is just words and no action. All right. Because R&D, scientific innovation, and so on and so forth, it requires significant financial investment. All right. It's not just, oh, it's not like magic. I say it and it will happen. You have to do it. So over the last 20 years or so, Nu Skin has continued. I mean, Ageloc, when I look at it overall, I mean, it probably cost more than $100 million over the last, 16 years or so. You know, we continue to innovate. We continue to learn and how we can make it even better. And so this commitment is very strong because at the end of the day, Nu Skin has always been very true to its words. You know, the fundamental base, if you will, or the foundation of Nu Skin, that is a company for the leaders, by the leaders, with the leaders. All right. All the people listening to they are partners. They're not just, you know, people that like any other traditional company. They're just customers or people that they come and they go. They do come and go, but as long as you're with us, you're a member of the family. So that's important to me. The commitment behind what we do in Nu Skin.
Yeah, Dr. Joe, I know we have 75 in-house
Yeah.
scientists, R&D
Yeah.
team, and I could still remember that the actual reset, the meta, was actually take our scientists about 7 years to develop and validate this product before it was being introduced. So great one, really, Dr. Joe. This is very reassuring to know that, you know, such a meticulous work and quality assessments that actually go into our products. And before we actually roll it out, we have all the validated signs and so. And to Juinn, right? For you, I know that you have been doing Nu Skin business for many, many years, and I can still see that you are still so passionate in sharing the products and business opportunity with people around you, right? So when you actually meet with your team and new people every day, what are the things that you will actually share and talk to them to basically encourage, motivate, and inspire them?
Okay. I think all of us, whether we are doing Nu Skin, not doing Nu Skin, whether we are users of Nu Skin, we are always passionate about the few things that matter to us and our families. Number one, we want great health. Who likes to be unhealthy? We all want great health. We want energy. And most importantly, we want the best for ourselves and our families, not just the present, but into the future. And of course, the most important, financial security. And again, this is something to echo Joe's point. You don't worry about this financial security when you're in your 20s or your 30s. But when you start having children, you start worrying about bringing them up, about their education. And then after they graduate, and you go on to the job, you worry about yourself, whether you have sufficient health and money in the bank account to last for another few decades. Okay, so I think I've been very grateful, my partners and I have been very grateful to Nu Skin for enriching our lives, not just in terms of the health benefit, looking younger, tackling the sources of aging, but the financial security. So maybe you can show the slide that I have on my family.
Juinn?
Juinn disappeared.
Yeah, Juinn disappeared.
Okay, this is so well before Juinn comes back, let me speak to this. This is Junn's family, right?
Yeah,
So
a very beautiful
yeah.
family.
I believe
When
those are the two daughters he's so happy with, and I believe they got educated in England, and you can see the graduation. I believe the lady on the top left standing with the mother and Juinn, and this must be the grandmother on the right side. Junn's daughter just graduated from Cambridge, I believe. Okay, and the other
yeah,
daughter too. I think one of them is graduated in law, if I'm not wrong. So they went for the graduation. So yeah, Juinn is still not back. He
Juinn is
disappeared.
still not back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Anyway,
yeah,
Dr.
his
Joe, while we are waiting for Juinn to come back, perhaps have another question for you.
yeah,
Is that okay, Dr. Joe?
yes.
Yeah. So, Dr. Joe, do you have some tips or some preview for us? What would be the next Agelocs that coming out in next year?
Okay. So we learned a lot over the last 16 years, right? And we have now almost have completed a sort of a mapping of all the organs in the body and what are the genes responsible for each organ. Okay. What we have also learned is that sometimes there are significant differences among people. In other words, you and I, Fionn, although we share the same uh, genetic makeup, if you will, okay,
Yep.
we are different. There are certain things. You don't live your life in Malaysia the same way that I do over here in the States, right? I eat a little bit different, although it's still very much influenced by the Chinese cuisine, but nonetheless it's still a bit different from what you eat in Malaysia, right? And everybody else on this call, they're going to be a little bit different from each other as well. The reason why I'm saying that is because that we have now reached a point, and I think it's going to come very soon, that we have, oh my goodness, right now we probably have 400 different products, both on skincare side and Pharmanex side and so on. So out of that library or group of products, we have now discovered a way that we can help you to personalize. In other words, you can choose the specific group of products just for you. So that's what we call personalization. Okay, that just answering just a few questions or whatever it is, and also be able to test your genetic makeup soon, how your genes are actually behaving in you individually, and that will also give us some insight to help you choose the right product just for you. So that's
Interesting.
the future we are going towards.
Right.
Precision supplementation and beauty care. Yeah.
Right. So I can't wait to know about these products.
Yeah.
I make sure that I need to learn about this product so that I can actually share this product to our leaders. Okay.
Yeah.
So Dr. Joe, I know that we also invested a lot in our manufacturing facilities, right?
Aha, yes.
So we have these new manufacturing facilities in China, the new skin, beauty and wellness
Yeah.
manufacturing facilities. Yeah, could you share with us, why actually, I think not just you, but I think our new skin management as well have actually decided to invest so many millions dollars to our new skin China manufacturing plants.
Yeah. So, okay. When Pharmanex actually was initially even our first manufacturing was actually in China before New Skin. All right. We already had manufacturing there. And we started it. So when we went into the world of New Skin, that continued. And one of the reasons, frankly, is based on I sort of think I know where your question is coming from, and that is many people sort of have this fear or apprehension that anything that comes out from China is not that good. They don't have quality control. It sometimes, have toxic contaminants and whatever it is. In fact, it's just not very good. People are a little bit skeptical, especially with nutritional supplements, because you have to take them by mouth and you have to consume them into your body, right? There's this fear. I can assure everybody here that yes, we do, and we will continue to sort of do our manufacturing in China, and some of those products will be in different markets as well. This is the most important thing to remember. It is made in China, but it's made by New Skin. In other words, the facility, that's the reason. It's going to be made by our manufacturing facility. We are not going to subcontract it out to some external vendor. Okay. So since it's going to be made by us, it's going to be our scientists and everybody else who will use the 6S process that we have always used. We will use that in China to make sure that product coming out meets all the standards that we have we hold our products to. So not to worry, it's made in China, but it's made by New Skin, by our factory, by our manufacturing facility. It's not made by somebody else, and we just put our label on it. Okay, that's why we control it that way. And yeah, it's the building or the R&D center and manufacturing facility. If you guys go and see it in Fengshan, that's close to Shanghai, it looks, I mean, it's world class. You'll be very impressed with the quality and the manufacturing that we put in to ensure quality. It's going to be New Skin quality, nobody else. The products are still products that if you close your eyes, you won't be able to tell the difference between a product that's made in China by New Skin and a product that's made in US by New Skin. It's the same exact product, same quality, same safety analysis, and we stand by our product. I hope my comments help to maybe explain and help everybody to be not afraid of our products, even if they're made in China.
Yeah, it's very helpful, Dr. Joe.
Yeah.
Although personally, I haven't been the manufacturing facilities or the Greater China Innovation Park, but as when I actually, see through all the videos and also the photos, I really feel impressed on the investment that we actually put in to build out the manufacturing facilities to really, produce our own products there so that we can actually have a full control on the quality, safety, and also the efficacy of the products. So, Juinn, finally we got you back.
I thought you didn't like my answer. That's why you cut me off.
And I was trying to explain your
We
family for
really
you,
thought,
Juinn.
yeah. Dr. Jo is very
Okay.
Luckily, I do
helpful
know
to
two of your daughters
expand.
graduated, right? So I say, here's Juinn, graduation ceremony, but you better give them the accurate.
Okay, so you want me to start answering again the same question?
I don't
Yeah,
know.
can we actually having the photos up again?
Okay.
Maybe Juinn have more story to tell us on
Yeah.
his family, a very
Okay.
beautiful family.
Yeah. So as I was saying before I was cut off, we all feel passionate about the same things in life, health, looks, financial security, and most importantly, our families, what we can do for them presently and into the future. Now, these are just photos of my two daughters graduating from overseas university, and I'm very thankful to Nu Skin for giving us the financial means to be able to afford to send them overseas. And of course, the other person, of course, is my mom. My mom is 86 this year, very, very healthy. She just came back from visiting her ancestral home in China. Again, thanks to our supplements. And what joy one can give to one's parents to be able to see their granddaughters graduate, and then we go on holidays together and so on and so forth. So to me, Nu Skin or Ageloc is not just about products that enable us to live longer, better in terms of health and looks, but from a business concept, longer and better with financial securities and with the time to be able to do the things you want to do well into your retirement, well into your twilight years, so to speak, I still feel, even though the times today are a little bit more challenging than before, Nu Skin and Ageloc still represents our best platform for us to live much better lives for ourselves and our family. And I still think all my years of searching for investment vehicles, this is absolutely the right vehicle on the right trend at the right time. But to make big things happen, as what Joe was saying earlier, you don't just talk, you have to do, you have to take action, okay? The vehicle is there, the products are there, the company is there, your uplines are there to help you. You have to go all in and take massive action and go out there to talk to people about the product, talk to people about the business and how it can improve their lives, not just now, but into the many decades ahead. So again,
Right.
thank you very much for having me. I really am very honored and privileged to be able to share my little story here.
Thank you, Juinn. Totally agree with you. So do you know that I think Nu Skin is not just enriching the life of our leaders, the Nu Skin products, our FFG culture, the people surrounding us are also enriching the life of us as Nu Skin staff as well, and also our family. I personally feel that that is very, very important. Okay, and that is the beauty of Nu Skin. So leaders, last but not least, let me quickly show you the legacy of our Ageloc product opportunity renewal since the inception of Ageloc technology. As you know, the Ageloc is our premier line of innovative products. And you know, right now, Ageloc products has actually spans a close Nu Skin portfolio of personal care and also the nutritional products. And like Dr. Joe and Juinn mentioned, with each Ageloc launch of the products, right? It's not just simply a product launch, but in fact, it is really a life-transforming opportunity to our leaders and of course to our customers as the products continue to be so effective and powerful. And you know what's more? We also won a lot and also receive a lot of awards, patents, and then our scientists, okay, Dr. Joe have actually published all our research results on this anti-aging science. So these are all the proof of our product innovation and also the success. So with our dedicated R&D team, many good works are actually being done right now at the back end. Like Dr. Joe mentioned, coming soon, we may have very special products that are really focusing on your individual and specific needs. So before I wrap up for today's session, once again, I would like to thank you, Dr. Joe and Juinn, for joining me today with all our Southeast Asia and Pacific leaders. Shall we actually give Dr. Joe and Juinn a virtual thumbs up and applause for their insightful, wonderful sharing? Thank you.